Hi, I'm Sandy with Mind Body Science. I'm a physical therapist and a Feldenkrais practitioner. And today we're going to address discomforts that you might have associated with headaches, neck pain, back pain, some forms of shoulder pain. It might even be emotionally related. If you've been crying a whole lot and you're having difficulty not crying, or it might even be a situation where you need a good cry. And with Mind Body Science, where we use the attention of the mind on the physical body and its senses and movement to alleviate or balance the difficulties we might be having. So today we're going to use a desk or a table. I have a desk here and a chair. I'm a pretty average height person. You could use a regular dining room table. I'm using just a regular stool. You can use a regular chair. The idea here being something that's not too high or too low. And if you feel like you are a really tall person, you might need to raise the seat up with some books or something. If you're a really short person, you might need to put something under your feet to raise your knees up so you don't feel like your body's having to reach to get your feet comfortably on the floor. Ideally here, the main thing is to remain comfortable, because when you're comfortable, your brain can actually work on your behalf to neutralize and balance things for you, which is what the Feldenkrais method and Mind Body Science is all about. So first off, we'll go ahead and sit in the chair and address our desk or table, whatever it is that you have that's easy for you. And then once you arrive there, you want to position your feet so that your heels and ankles are below your knees and your shins are pretty vertical. When you do that, your feet will feel pretty restful. Your legs should feel pretty restful. So you don't want your feet or ankles or knees crossed. And you don't want to feel like you're holding your legs together or apart. Ideally, you want to feel like each knee can rest over its own foot. And once I arrive there, I'm going to start with my hands on my thighs. I could, if your hands don't fit under your desk, don't worry about it. You can start with them up here. If your hands can fit on your thighs, you can rest them palms down or palms up, whichever is more comfortable for you. Sometimes palms up is a little more comfortable for the shoulders, but it doesn't really matter. Your comfort is the thing that matters. So I'll start just by settling into my frame. And as I settle into my frame, I notice my sitting bones on the chair, my feet on the ground, and my breathing. And I just pause with that sense for a little while. I notice where I'm moving. I feel into my spine and my neck and my head, my jaw and my eyes, noticing any effort in any of these areas. And once I have that baseline sensation, then I'm ready to begin. So I'll bring my arms up onto the table. You want to be close enough to the table so that you don't feel like you're really reaching, and that you don't feel like the table or the desk is pushing you back. And so once I let my arms find a restful place, you know, if your elbows are a little bony and uncomfortable, you can put pads underneath there. But my elbows are fine, so I'll start here. And then I bring my attention to my hands. Our hands are uniquely designed to create spaces for us to take care of ourselves. So this little dent in the palm is something that is helpful to notice right now, because this little dent is going to be the place where we rest our cheekbones. And when we do that, the heel of each hand will rest just below the cheekbones, so you can feel that dent there. And when you do this, just be very gentle. It's not a lot of pressure. It's very gentle and mild. And so when I let my elbows rest on the table, and then I bring my two palms to my face, I just rest my cheekbones into my palms. I rest the heels of my hands on my face. My fingers and thumbs are resting on my forehead and temples. And as I'm here again, I'm breathing and I'm allowing my hands to support my head. And I'm allowing any effort to go away from my spine. Now, if you've realized, oh, my elbows are a little too close, don't hesitate to move them a little farther away, as I just did. Because as I rest now, I feel effort leaving my neck, my spine, my shoulders, my hands. And once I've established that, then I bring my attention to my sitting bones. And as I sense my sitting bones and my feet on the ground, very gently I'll start to roll my sitting bones a little forward and a little back. And as I do this, I'm not specifically trying to minimize movement elsewhere, but the movement, as you can see, is quite small. And I pause, and that's my first trial. Again, this is me noticing and letting my brain do the deciphering for me. I notice what's happening, what's moving, what's not moving, what feels pleasant and unpleasant, and I'm avoiding anything unpleasant. There's the second trial. And then here's the third trial, and I'm going to slow it way down. And I'm actually at this point noticing what my eyes are doing. Now, you can notice what your eyes are doing, but you don't have to. But if your eyes are related to your attention headache, perhaps, it might be good to notice them. And my shoulders just did something. Again, I don't have to know. My brain knows for me. And then I'm going to do one more trial. Even smaller. In fact, this movement can be so small, all of the movements can be so small that someone watching you doesn't even know what's happening. And when I complete that trial, I'm going to take my hands back to my thighs and just pause again. Now my whole entire spine is very different, and I feel taller. My face feels lighter, and my hearing has adjusted a little bit, which is interesting. And now I can finish with this, and this can be my whole experiment. But I'm going to go and do another trial here, or a set of trials, where I, again, rest my cheekbones in the palm of my hand. I let the heels of the hands accept my face. And now I'm going to do an action where I lift and lower my right sitting bone. And again, each time just noticing my effort, my timing, the movement of my head and shoulders. And now I'll switch to my left sitting bone. Now I'll say right away, this one requires a lot more effort. That's just the way my body is set up. But there's no wrong answer here. So just because it takes more effort doesn't mean there's anything wrong. I can just do less. And again, I'm noticing my eyes, which tend to move in an interesting way here. And then I'm going to alternate my right sitting bone lifting and my left sitting bone lifting. And I can feel my head is turning, my arms and hands and shoulders are turning. Now again, this might not be the case for you, and it does not matter. Everyone will have their own experience with this. So that again, now I can feel my breathing has shifted. So when I do these lessons, everything shifts. In fact, I'll also say that I'm noticing right now that my feet now feel like they're resting lighter on the ground. So it does not matter what your experience is. It's the noticing. And the noticing is what affects the brain. So when we do these experiments and we pay attention to the bones, the collarbones, the jaw, the spine, these are the areas that house the nervous system. And when we use the nervous system to pay attention to the bony areas that house it, and we continue to adjust to that movement, the system naturally gets lighter. I can tell you personally right now, after that little bit of time, my shoulders feel lighter, my chest feels lighter, my breathing is freer, my hearing shifted a little, and my feet are lighter on the ground. So your experience will likely be different. It depends on what you pay attention to. So give it a try. You can try it daily. You can try it numerous times a day. Don't spend too much time, but allow it to be a quiet place where you can really pay attention to yourself. And thanks for watching.